Hello, Debbie Simmonds here with the Simmonds Lifestyles Real Estate Group. We are a group that services the real estate industry in the central Vancouver Island area, including the Cowichan Valley, my partner Mark Brotherton and myself. And this is our marketing report for the week of April 22nd. Our topic of the week is the budget that just came down, our federal budget. And we've been talking extensively to everyone, to our followers, as to how these budgets and the government policy is affecting us as homeowners and this housing crisis. Well, this budget did more to harm us in that regard than to help us. It was a disastrous budget. It never addressed any of the problems that we've outlined in our previous market reports, stating what is affecting the crisis, the shortages, the overpricing of the housing market. They did nothing to address that. They came out with an absurd plan saying that they're going to provide 3.87 million homes over the next 7 years. What is the government doing getting into private business? Number one, they can't do it properly. Anytime the government gets involved, it slows things down and escalates the prices. And also, that's for the private sector to handle on our behalf, the people who are very skilled and gifted at building homes and following, building codes and all that kind of stuff. So they have put another nail in the coffin of builders. I heard of one fellow this week who was building 12 units. And after everything else they've done with the flipping taxes and everything else, and more taxes, and the carbon tax and the escalation of price and everything, now they're saying we're done after this budget. So in this budget, not only are they not helping private investment to solve this crisis, which is the only way we're going to get out of this crisis, they harm them some more. They've changed the capital gains exemptions. Now there are 3 different capital gains exemptions, all not in the favor of the public. One is at 50%, one is at 66%, and one is at 100%. And to make that even more complicated, it can be a combination of all 3 of those. Way too complicated for the average person to figure out. So now we're all having to go to the accountant, and the accounting fees are going up because of how complex this government is making the tax code. And so they're making it even less profitable for our builders and developers to be here anymore. And they're going to take any other option now after this budget than to continue on with their developments. My accounting bill went from 5 years ago being $1,000 a year, then it went up to $1,100, then it went up to $1,200. Last year it went up to $1,600. This year I got my bill $2,100. So I can't even afford to go to an accountant anymore because everything is just escalating so quickly. So that is the topic of this week. Now I'm going to share my screen and show you our market activity this week. Okay, so we have 24 new listings, which is fantastic. You can see over here the pricing of it all. Here's the addresses. 24 new listings. The most expensive one was a waterfront on Fairtide Road, which is on the northern border of the Ladysmith Harbor, 2.6 million on that one. And then the cheapest one was an ocean view lot on Bayview Street at 260,000, exactly 1/10 of the price of the most expensive one. And so that was the cheapest one this week. We have, as you can see over here, it says pending. We'll flip over to page 2. We have 11 new pending deals. That's a lot of good market activity for the Cowichan Valley. And we have 12 price decreases. And we have 10 new properties. You can see over here that says sold. That means that these properties have changed hands. And we have 2 cancellations. So that is our market activity for the week. Please let us know if you want us to send this to you. We can send you all kinds of finite detail on this. I will stop the share right now. My own home sold this week. And I want to get into a new segment here in our weekly market report. And I want to talk to you about Mexico. I just sold my own home. It's completing. You'll see my sale next week when I show you these sales stats. My house goes to its new owner on Thursday. I made the decision 2 years ago, after continuously watching Michael Campbell and really knowing what's going on and what's coming down at the pike at the average Canadian family. I made the decision to move to Mexico. I could see that I wasn't going to be able to retire in Canada. I wouldn't be able to afford to retire in Canada. So that is tragic. You know, I'm 66 years old pretty soon. I worked in Canada all my life. I've worked extremely hard all my life, but I just couldn't afford to live a normal standard Canadian lifestyle. I would really have to cut back on everything that I consider to be fun and worth living for. So now that I'm in Mexico, my costs are down. My costs are 40% of what they are in Canada. And I'm living a wonderful life here. It's warm. My hydro bill is practically non-existent. My cost of food is about 40% of what it is in Canada. And I'm eating beautiful, beautiful food. Maybe I can show you that too. No, it's not up there. Next week, I'll show you some photographs of the gorgeous bougainvillea trees that I walk by in my morning walk, and the gorgeous plate of food we have every morning for breakfast with beautiful, colorful watermelon and papaya and pineapple and fresh farm eggs. And the food is growing all around me. It feels so good to be in a place where the food is grown right here, and it's field to table almost. You know, it's that direct. And so the food is more nutritious as well. Okay, some of Michael Campbell's notes. Oh, by the way, Mark and I are your connection to Mexico. If you want to hear more about this, contact us. I know a lot about moving to Mexico after what I've been through in the last 2 years. Glad I bought when I did. And but there's still a lot of really great places available, very, very reasonably priced here in Mexico. And I'm getting into working with realtors here as well. And so if you are thinking of moving to Mexico, what we are doing is what we just did with my own home. We list my home, sell it, and then we help buy on this end down here in Mexico. So that is a bit of a niche for us. Okay, so Michael Campbell this week, if you don't listen to him, please do. You'll become smart if you listen to him. He just talked about how absurd it was and how economists are rolling on the floor laughing with this budget about the 3.87 million new homes. They don't even have the they don't have the finances to do it. They don't have the contractors to do it. It's an impossibility. What they're probably going to do is come up with some scheme where they're building property on government land and you lease it. So you'll own nothing and be happy. This is their plan. So another reason to get out. Every homeowner is having to fill out this declaration that their home wasn't vacant. Well, 99% of them weren't. So why make 99% of the population fill out this declaration every year? Preposterous. More bureaucracy, more waste of the taxpayers' money. Holy crap. Anyway, okay, and he said that the word fair was used in the budget over 50 times, and yet there was nothing fair about the budget, that the budget focused on LGBTQ and climate change and programs and new programs that we can't afford, like dental care, daycare, and those types of, and pharmacare, when our primary healthcare system is falling to pieces. Like, who do you think you're fooling? You can't even handle the most primary one, and Canadians are dying, and you're introducing these new programs? Sheer and utter stupidity. Okay, so he talked a lot about that. However, our credit ratings are being downgraded. Canada's credit rating is being downgraded, and I think that BC's has just been downgraded for the second time because of the way our governments are spending money. And then he talked a lot about the Chinese interference. Do we even still have a democracy? There's shocking things coming out of these reports on the Chinese thing. You know, the government has known about it, CSIS knew about it for at least 3 years, but nobody does anything. And they pay people, they coerce people to go to the polls and vote for the people they wanted, which is this group, who is, you know, destroying our economy from the inside out, which is what they want. And then the most shocking other thing I learned was that they're bringing out halal mortgages. The government's bringing out mortgages for Muslims, special mortgages with no interest. Huh? What? And also, you know, that like this is just, oh my goodness, it's so unfair. It's so unfair to the people who have worked here all their lives, who have paid interest through the nose their whole lives, and they're bringing in programs like this. Like, it's just more absurd by the week. Anyway, that's the report for the week. Please see Michael Campbell on Saturdays. You know, just call up mikesmoneytalks.ca. And he has really interesting guests on there from each segment of the economy, giving their weekly update. And it's critical to know what's going on. So that is our update for this week. Please give us a call if you need any real estate needs. We are very well versed, very, very experienced in all aspects of real estate. So have a great week ahead. Goodbye from myself, Debbie Simmonds, and from my partner, Mark Brotherton. And if you have any questions, please give us a call at 250-246-0708. Have a wonderful week ahead. We're professional, caring, and kind.